Welcome everyone. I'm just checking that all of my things are in place, and yes they are, and I'm right with you. Welcome to Beauty and Business. This is Elle Wilson. So glad that we're here again. In fact, I'm delighted that we're here again to do our last episode of our wonderful theme, which has been all month regarding our intimate relationship and how we can really be in that relationship to fulfill ourselves, to really demonstrate what it is like to our children, to others, to love and be loved, what it's like to actually nourish the bond between ourselves and our husbands or our partners or a special other person in our life. What does that feel like? Now, for some of us, we've gotten ourselves into a place where we've forgotten what that even feels like. How good it feels, like how good it felt when we were walking down the aisle, and we kind of look back and go, oh, that was then, this is now, and we kick on. And I would like to encourage you, if you're in that space, to really listen to these vlogs, like go back and these videos, and really just like take heed of the words in them, because you're missing out. And the reality of it is that you can only give to others what you're giving to yourself. And if we're not coming from that, and that's a universal law, let me just share with you, it's not mine. So if you're not really coming from a place of abundance, and I'm not talking about abundance of money or an abundance of material things, that's like a secondary issue, and it's not even something I even want to talk about right now, because it's later. Right? And there's so much to be said about that, because that really truly does not fulfill us. It's impossible. Yes, people say, you hear people say, but I'd rather be unhappy and have all these things. Well, yeah, but did you ever consider that wanting all those things is what made you unhappy in the first place? So I want to take you back to what's absolutely core. No one's asking you to be poor on the outside and have meaning on the inside and fulfillment on the inside. Those things don't have to be separate from each other. But in our minds, we have to come from the right space. We have to retrain ourselves and unlearn all these false ideas that keep us separate in one of, if not the most important relationship in our life, which is that of our intimate, but with our intimate partner. So key things. How are you going to be in that relationship? If that relationship has got to a place where it seems irreconcilable, have you used everything inside of yourself? Have you trained your mind to really know that's true? Like get your mind into a place of real love and think, is it true that it's ended? Then you probably need some external help. There's also lots of resources that are available. I mentioned them earlier in the month, where you can go to Amazon or you can go to a bookstore and get nonviolent communication. It's a great book. Clean language is another wonderful way to learn how to communicate in a clean way and move deeper with your partner. But the reality of it is that the only question you have to ask yourself is, do I want oneness? Do I want this bond? Because that's what the bond is. It's like two becoming one. So that's the bond. That's the well. Do I want that? Is that important to me? Do I want to demonstrate to my children where real fulfillment comes from? Now, only when you are truly coming from abundance and fulfillment can you create, nourish and flourish and create this bond. Right? So first it's you knowing from that real space inside of you that, gosh, that is worth something. This full part inside of me, this part that is overflowing with love and joy, I want to pour that in. I want to give that to my other. I want to give that to him beyond being right, beyond, having my opinions mean more than his, or all of those things that, when we're coming from a perspective and identity of lack, we feel are important. They're so unimportant. In fact, they just continue to reinforce that we're separate, that we're unique, we're individuals, we need this, we need that to be happy. It's just constant egoic rubbish that we make real. So that's your first question, is do I want to find that place inside of me that is already full, and then begin to share and extend that to my other intimate path, and to really nurture this bond. How would I do that? How would someone that actually wants that begin to do it? The first place, so you have to decide that first. So first you've got to find it in here, and then once you find it in there, you're not even going to have to think about it. You're just naturally going to be looking and being completely, looking at the other and wanting to extend love, just like you do with your children. Even when your children are playing up, you'll get to a place where that'll be okay. In the midst of chaos and whatever, you're going to learn how to be able to bring love to the table rather than your anger and your disappointment and your frustrations and your harsh words, which then leave you feeling depleted, unhappy, and then going to work in that state and hoping that you're going to attract great people. And when you're at work, you've got this new identity, you're out there being the perfect this and the perfect that, and everyone loves you, and then you go home and you're in another identity where you're drained. And do you want to do that? Do you want to have these split Jekyll and Hyde personalities? You don't have to do that. But you will continue to do that until you learn another way, until you train your mind. But first you've got to step back. The mind isn't the first place. You have to go and ask yourself, what do I deeply, deeply desire? Do I deeply desire to find real love in myself? Do I really want to use the universal principles that you'll find in the power shift to be able to build my life out with, build my relationships instead of destroying them and compromising them, build my brand, build my business, be a parent that can bring and demonstrate something really beautiful and pure and good to my children? Do you want that? And even if it feels like it's the hardest possible thing, that it's almost, where would you begin? How could I do it? Well, that's what we're here for. First, you have to want it. It's just like, Napoleon Hill would say that, you have to find that thing that you desire the most. Well, a lot of the time when we have a dream, we make that first. We put that first and say, that's what I desire the most. Desire, to build my empire, to build my business, to build my salon, to build something that, I'm proud of. I've got dreams. And we forget that for that to happen, are we prepared to give away our happiness? Are we prepared to give away our intimate relationships? Do they have to suffer so we can have that? No. So go back. Go a step back and find out deep down in that quiet, gentle space when your heart is so quiet, so silent, when there are no children, not even husbands, partners, nothing, just by yourself. Find some time to really contemplate. What do I really desire? Let's go back. What do I really desire above all else? You might be really surprised what you find. And from that place, you can build out everything in a very beautiful, loving, kind way. Rather than this forcing current, like years and years and years ago, I studied this training, which was pathwork training, and they always spoke about the forcing current. When you have a forcing current, it means that you're using force to get something done. And you can use that to know when you've left for your absolute abundance within and you've stepped into lack. Because you're either in lack or you're either in fullness, abundance, love. Love has no other opposite. It can't have an opposite. It doesn't make sense. Love is whole, it's full, it extends, it gives, it extends. And it doesn't mean that it gives as in that it gives and gives and gives and gives and then is drained. Love has unlimited flow. Never, can't be drained when you're coming from that loving, beautiful space. Love knows when to lie this body down and rest it, when to exercise it, when to eat, when to not eat, when to stop eating, what to eat. You have a true master inside of yourself, a loving, kind master, which is you. But over time, we've forgotten and we've changed to a different master, which is that of lack. I need this, I want that. If I don't have this, if I don't have that, then, well, I'm going to stomp around, or I'm going to be upset, or I'm going to call a friend and vent. Or now these are deep things, they're deep topics, but I have to bring this to you because this is the foundation of your happiness. When you start to learn how to use the universal laws that you'll find in the power shift, and throughout the themes that we're presenting to you on beauty and business, you're going to start to realize that you can have it all, but not like have it all out there. That's not, that you can't control that. What you can control is having it all in here. So when you have it all in here, then the beauty of that is that just naturally, when you really find it, right, not 1 foot in lack and 1 foot in the so-called love. That doesn't happen. Remember, love doesn't have an opposite. Love doesn't look at fear and go, oh, you're real. Love doesn't even know fear exists. Love is whole, oneness, whole. It's just love, that's it. It's like the light, if there's light, where's the darkness? If you go into a room that's dark and you're carrying a candle, what happens to the darkness? It's gone. Same thing, same principle. So you can build like that. And why do I love sharing these deep, profound principles with you? Because I can. And it's why wouldn't I? Don't I want you to be happy? Don't I want you to know what I know? Don't I want you to share in the beauty of what waking up actually looks like? Like, don't I want that for you? Of course I want that for you. I want that more for you now than ever before, because I know that is what will allow you to build out this beautiful dream that you have. And whilst you're building it out, you're not going to be experiencing this devastating drain, this adrenal fatigue, illness, sore back, sore wrists, sore hips, whatever it is that that goes on when we're coming from lack. All we do is reinforce lack everywhere. Everywhere we look, we're seeing it. Not enough clients, not enough this, not enough that. Gratitude doesn't get a look in, and if it does, it gets a look in for a couple of minutes. I'm just checking the time, and then it's gone again. And we're back to lack again. You have to start to see the difference. That's why I'm sharing with you. And I'm really putting myself out there, right? I'm putting myself out there in a way that makes me vulnerable. Because it's like you could turn around and go, oh, God, what is she talking about? What's that got to do with beauty and business? Well, let me tell you, you don't want to think about me in 10 years' time and go, wow, I wish I'd listened to her back then and just wasted 10 years of my life. So you might, I'm going to take that chance that you can do whatever you want. You can think whatever you want about me. But my role, my purpose is to serve you, and to serve you in the deepest, most beautiful way that I can. And if I was not to share this beautiful information with you, I would be doing you a disservice. I would be thinking you are weak. I would be thinking that I was weak, and I would be afraid to share it. And I simply don't believe that. I would be leaning into fear. Why would I do that? Why would I reinforce that in myself and then reinforce it in you? Just because that's what happens all the time when we're coming from lack and fear. We're just continually reinforcing that way of being is real. So I'm going to flip that and take you all the way over in my vulnerability and tell you that it doesn't exist unless you need it. Unless you're interested in fear, if you're interested in lack. Are you? And what would be the price that you would have to pay if you would have a belief that you could nurture and love, that you are whole and complete? What are all the things that would just drop from you immediately, that you could just go, oh, wow, that's amazing. I don't need to carry all that burden, and I could just be at peace just for a few seconds, at least for a minute and a half. I'm complete and whole. Wow, isn't that just beautiful? And that is enough. That is purely, entirely enough What an amazing place to build a relationship, a bond, fill a well with your intimate partner. When you honestly can see that your needs and wants are simply reinforcing that fear is real and lack is real, but that your needs and wants are deeply found within you. And find out what they are and share them with me. Are they peace? Is it that love? What is it? Joy? Like, look for it. And when you find it, it could be by just closing your eyes. Try Hello Mind, a fabulous app. I love it. I'm going to give you lots of resources in beauty and business this year for your development. And we're going to talk about beauty, how to get more clients, how to be in that flow where quality clients just come because they're feeling you, how to build that brand that everybody is dying to talk about. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that from fear and lack? You got to jump over the fence. Well, the fence isn't even really there, but it'll feel like you're jumping over the fence. You've got to jump ship if you want to build this extraordinary brand, this incredible brand with moving parts that are all just flowing outwardly, a message that is just absolutely about integrity and honesty and leaving behind everything that's old and stepping into the new. You want to do that with me? That's what 2019 looks like. I'm so excited that I get to be here with you where, let's talk on beauty and business. If you're not on beauty and business, my secret group, ask to join it and let's get you on there and let's keep talking. Let's keep exploring these opportunities. Buy the Power Shift. Go to truebrow.com and you go to the shop and you'll find it right there for you. Love to hear what you think of it. I love getting book reviews on the Power Shift and how it's helped your lives, and it's just amazing. Thank you so much for honoring me and allowing me to serve you. Take care. Have a great week, and next week we are going to be back and we're going to be talking about parenting and the female entrepreneur, what guilt is telling us, is it real, what to do with it, and ultimately how to be free of it. Take care. It's been great being with you.